I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Arakwal people of the Bundjalung Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Are you ready to win at the game of life? Well, throw out that rulebook and get down to the business of being the best and most authentic version of you. Welcome to the Human Design Podcast. We're changing the rules around success, abundance, purpose, love, and life, where we're creating a planet where everyone can thrive in a world that loves and supports each other. I'm your host, Emma Dunwoody, a qualified master coach, human design expert, podcaster, and entrepreneur that is living the life of my dreams, breaking all the rules while doing it, making a huge impact, and living my design and manifesting miracles on the daily. Join me as I break down and simplify everything you need to live in alignment with your human design, teach you how to recondition your unconscious mind for greatness, and to take back your power so you can manifest your heaven on earth and serve the rest of the planet at the same time. It's time to give up the fear and step into your highest potential, to reach for the stars, to know and live your greatness. It's what you deserve, and it's what the planet really needs from you. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I am super excited to have you here. I'm going to dive into some specific parts of human design today, so please make sure you've got your chart in front of you, or at the very least, you know what your profile is. All right, so I'm going to dive into that a little bit today. First things first, I want to say a freaking huge thank you to everyone who's left us a 5-star review or any review on Spotify and Apple. Thank you so much. You guys, you make my day. And everyone who keeps sending me DMs, thank you. I'm so grateful for all of the support that we have had for Gaia, for the podcast, for the workshops that we've been putting out, all the things. So thank you. The whole reason I do all of this is for you, because I know what it's like to be at that place in your own personal development journey where, well, let's be honest, sometimes you're pulling your hair out or banging your head against a wall and feeling like you're just on the precipice of something great. You know, it's just around the corner, but you can't touch it. You can't get there. Like, where the hell is my breakthrough? And I get it. I've been there. I have been there many times. Hello, I'm a line 3. And I just want to make sure that there is enough out there for all of you so that maybe you don't have the resources right now, but I want to make sure that you have what you need, and it costs you no money, but it does cost you your commitment. It costs you taking responsibility, taking action, experimenting, because they're the things that changed my life. You know, I was the 0.001% that actually did all the work of all the free content that I just devoured, you know, starting 20 years ago. And at the end of the day, the free content that I give you guys is incredibly powerful. So please take all the juicy good bits, take it all and put it into imperfect action, because it will support you. It will give you that breakthrough. You will, you know, jump off that cliff and really dive into your most authentic self. This stuff works. I've lived it myself. I see it with all of my clients in my HDX community. And, you know, I'm living the dream. I am a living proof that you can do this. You know, I've created an entire business around this group of people, my HDX people, my mastermind people, my retreat people that feel like my family. And I've created a program that I can learn along as well as teach and have all these people around me. You know, like I get on my HDX calls and it might be with Elijah or Elizabeth. We've got both of those programs going at the moment. And I just see all these faces, like people I've had on retreat or in the mastermind. They're in HDX, obviously. And these are all these humans that are changing the world, that are making a difference, that are, you know, they're in the freaking arena, as Brené Brown would say. And, well, you know, that's when I really know that I'm on purpose, that I'm doing the work I came to this life, to this time to do. And, well, that's super important. It's important for me and it's important for you, because if you're listening to this, then you're part of the team that is creating this new paradigm. So let's not do it unconsciously anymore. Let's consciously create this new world that we're moving towards. So thank you. The other thing I want to do is I want to have a shout out to the beautiful Jo Messina. Yes, Jo, I know you've listened. And Jo was on my very, very, very first mastermind. She's a freaking rock star. She's in HDX. And I just want to say, I heard you, Jo. She said that the sound has been a little bit iffy on the podcast. So my apologies for that. The truth is I may have accidentally not used my microphone properly the last couple of episodes. We've made a couple of adjustments with my office space where I'm recording. We've, done all the things to improve this space. But again, if it does sound like I'm sitting in a bathroom, just let me know and we will do something else. Because at the end of the day, as much as for me, the sound quality doesn't need to be perfect, I also don't want it to piss you off at the same time, because I want you to get the most out of these episodes. I want you to get the most out of this entire podcast. So thanks, Jo. I love you. You're the best. So we are going to talk about profile today. So specifically what we're going to look at is we're going to look at how we can work with our profile to overcome whatever challenge is going on in your life right now. So if you can grab a piece of paper and a pen, fantastic. If you can't, if you're driving, don't worry about it. I'm pretty confident that you can do this in your head as you're driving, or listen to it once, go back and do it again. Remember, if you're an emotional authority, that oftentimes you're going to need a few runs at things anyway, okay? So for those of you that are new, what am I even talking about? What am I even talking about? So the profile is the two numbers you're going to see on your chart, okay? Or you're going to hear people talk about. So they might say, for example, I'm a 3-5. Taylor is at 5-1. My kids are a 1-4 and a 2-4. So it's those numbers that you want to look for. Now, what our profile is a very, very significant theme. In fact, the original knowledge called our profile the costume of our purpose. The way that I have really experienced it, and little bit simple over here, who wants to break it down, everything down to its most simple and important factor. The profile, in my opinion, in my experience, is how. It's how you move through life. It's how you learn. It's how you serve. It's how you be you. It is this part of you that is consistent and always playing out. Okay. Now, the reason why I want to add that is because if you're a reflector listening to this, that's important. Because for reflectors, we always want to find the parts of our chart that are consistent. Okay. Because it's the inconsistency piece that makes you a reflector. Okay, so what else do we need to know about our profile? Well, as I said, they're the two numbers. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, if you're looking at your chart, you've got a column on the right and you've got a column on the left. That both of these have numbers and little planetary glyphs in them, okay? It's going to be the top two numbers on the right have a decimal point and then a number after it. So on my chart, it's a 37.3 and a 40.3. And then over on the left-hand side, you're going to see two numbers at the top with a decimal point with the same number. Okay, so for me, it's a 9.5 and a 16.5. They're your line numbers. That means that I'm a 3-5. That's where you get your profile from. Okay, so these are going to be very significant themes that play out in your life on the daily. So it's something that when we come to human design, we want to kind of get to know that soon. Hopefully if you're new, you've had a play with type, you're experimenting with your strategy and authority, and now it's time to get into profile, because profile is a way that we move through life. It's also something that is going to tell us what people want from us. And I know there's a lot of you out there listening that either want to do your own business, want to create your own business, you want to refine your purpose, the work that you do, your career. So your profile plays a significant role in that. Let me give you an example. For me personally, because I'm a line 3, well, you guys want to hear my personal experiences. You want to hear the experiences that I've been through. And it's not just the good experiences, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between, right? It's the whole journey, because you learn from my experiences. Every time I fall down and scuff my knee or bang my elbow, you guys also learn from that. The classic example I talk about a lot here and in my community is when I was experiencing depression. I was doing depression and panic disorder, and I got to a point I was so frustrated and I was bawling my eyes down. I was down on my knees. I was yelling at the sky. Universe, for God's sake, like, this is not me. In every cell in my body, I feel like this is not me. What is going on? Like, help me. And I just, in that moment, in a very quiet, still moment, and for anyone who has any mental health stuff going on, a quiet moment in your mind is very rare. So I knew it was important. And I just heard, this isn't just for you, Emma. And in that moment, and I didn't know back then that I was a line 3, but in that moment, what I did know was that my experience of healing myself was going to be something I shared with the world, which takes me into my line 5. Because as a line 5, I'm here to solve problems. I am here to universalize. That means that I take my depression and panic disorder journey, for example, my human design journey, and I have all these experiences, and then my line 5 wants to take it out into the world. It wants to give it to you so that you can learn, grow, and evolve from it too. So these are the things that you want from me. Okay. These are also going to be the way that you learn. So depending on your line number, it's going to be how you specifically learn. If you're a line 1, you're going to learn through knowledge, the gathering of knowledge. Line 2, you're going to be naturally talented. So you actually learn really easily the things you're meant to learn. Line 3, it's through experimentation and experience. Line 4, you're going to learn through the people around you. Line 5, you're going to learn through problem solving. And line 6, well, you're going to learn through your own wisdom. And through line 6, you almost learn through a bit of all of it. Now, this is a really important piece, especially if maybe learning is something that you have been told you're not very good at, or you feel you're not very good at. Your profile is going to really help you align to the way you're best designed to learn. Again, I'll give you an example from me. One of the things that, as many of you know, I was diagnosed very young with dyslexia. And I just gave up on the whole reading thing. I was like, put me in the bottom maths group. I don't enjoy reading. Any reading assignment I had in English from grade 2 to year 12, I would read at the most a chapter, and I could write 10,000 words just on that chapter. There's no way I would read a book cover to cover, just way too much effort. Except for Shakespeare. That's a thing. I actually learned recently that one of the other things, sorry, this is a manifesting generator pivot for a moment. One of the other attributes of dyslexia is pattern recognition. So I think that's why I loved Shakespeare and could read Shakespeare so easily. Anywho, back on track. So I didn't do the traditional learning very well at all. However, I have been what we call an intuitive modeler my entire life. What does that mean? I see someone do something and then I can just do it. I don't know how. Sport's a great example. I can see someone play a sport and then I can just do it. And it's not like I've worked out the strategy and I'm doing it the way I've been taught to do it. I am just intuitively modeling what someone else is doing. So that's a real line 3 trait. And again, the other way that I realized that I learned so much as an adult is through problem solving. If I have a problem, if there is a problem, whether it's mine or someone else's, I'm going to find you a solution. Again, that is the line 5. So when we start to understand our profile lines and the themes that go with them, then we can also see where our superpowers are, and we can see where we hold ourselves back. Okay, this is the really important part. So today, what I want to do is I want to do a quick exercise for you. Feel free to pause this as you go along, but I just want to do a quick exercise for you to get clear on where the shadow of your profile is keeping you stuck or shutting you down or stopping you from taking the step you know is correct to take according to your strategy and authority, of course. So what we want to do is first we want to identify the shadow of each of our line numbers. So what is the shadow? The shadow is our fear expression. It's when the mind is overriding our authenticity, our truth, the decisions and the energy that comes from within the body, from within the intuition. It's when the mind overrides. It's like, oh, I'm too scared just to trust. I'm just going to do it for you. So then we do our fear expression, and that's our shadow of each line number. And it's going to be the choice or the behavior that you do every time fear shows up. Now, very simply put, when does fear show up? As soon as we get out of our comfort zone. As soon as we get out of our comfort zone, fear is going to show up. So it's a really good idea that we get to know the shadows of our line numbers, because if these are these significant themes of how we move through the world, they're also going to be some of the significant themes that stop us. So let me give you a quick overview of the shadows of each line number. Now, if you want to dive deeper into this, obviously the best place to do that, with me at least, is in HDX. You can dive super deep because your line numbers don't just happen in your profile. We're seeing line numbers all over the chart, and depending on where they are, they mean different things, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Okay, the line number shadows. We're going to start with line 1. So the simplest shadow of the line 1 is I don't know enough, therefore I can't take action yet. Okay, the line 1 is going to stop themselves because they think they don't know enough, they don't have enough, they're not enough, so they don't take action. All right, they can get stuck in perfection, and if it's not perfect, they won't move forward. What I want you to understand, my line 1 friends, is that if you're following your strategy and authority, it's going to tell you to go when you have what you need to move forward. Okay, you don't need every single answer to move forward. You need to trust your authority to tell you when you have enough to move forward. The line 2, the shadow of the line 2 is you hide yourself away and you don't act on the projections that are being projected onto you. Because what happens with a line 2, what gets projected onto you are your natural talents. People telling you, you're good at this. Can you help me with this because you're good at it? Oh, I'd love that. Could you do that for me? But a line 2, in their shadow, they hide in their cave. They hide away. They don't act on these projections. They don't listen to their strategy when it says, that's a green light. Like, yeah, that thing that person's projecting onto you, it's a yes. Let's go. In fact, they just override the authority with the mind and go, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know what I'm good at. No, I'm not really good at that. And they kind of like knock almost the compliment or the projection back over the fence and go and hide again. At the end of the day, you have to follow what's easy, and other people are going to show you plain as day what you're good at. So you have to trust your strategy and authority to act on it when it's there. Line 3, your shadow is all about running in the opposite direction. You are all about running away from commitment. Because the line 3 really wants to experiment so many things, they want to live unconventionally, they want to try a lot of things, they can run fast from commitment. They can be commitment phobic. So it's super important for you as a line 3 that when your authority says this is something to commit to, that you commit to it, even though it feels so much easier to run in the opposite direction. Line 4. Well, one of the main shadows of the line 4 is the fear of rejection. So you hold yourself separate from the people you're there to influence. You hold your tongue. You don't share the things that you want to influence through the group. You just sort of hold back and let other people take the lead. Now, at the end of the day, you are here to influence the group. You are here to make connections and network and have these close connections with other people. Relationships are your jam. So the moment that you are stepping back and holding back because you're afraid of rejection is the moment you are cutting yourself off from your magic. Line 5. One of the predominant shadows of line 5 is that they have no boundaries, meaning that every single person that comes to you to solve their problem or to fix them, you just jump in and do it. You are their superhero. You're always on call for everybody else. And what happens is your energy gets depleted. You end up helping all of these people that actually need to help themselves. And then you end up alone without anyone to support you because you feel like you should just always be supporting someone else. So as a line 5, you need to be conscious that the gift you have to help others heal and solve their problems, and the gift you have to lead, that means you need boundaries. You're not here to help everyone, you're here to help your people. So when your authority says, yep, let's help this person, go for it. But when it says no, then you have to have a boundary in place. Line 6, one of the really big shadows of the line 6 is that you guys are in a hurry and your entire process takes time. Now, all of us take time. However, one of the things that I've experienced where I have line 6s in my design, but also with the line 6s that I work with, so often they're impatient. But for you, patience is your superpower because your shiny gold Buddha self is going to be immaculate after 50. Now, you're still going to be wise and you're still going to have all these beautiful role model qualities as you move through your triphasic, so before 30, between 30 and 50, and after 50. However, the more you're patient with yourself, with life, with those around you, the more you don't have to redo. You don't have to go over and do it again. You don't have to try a different way. When you're patient, then you take your time and you get more aligned and more calibrates the first time round. Okay. So there are some of the most significant shadows. Now, obviously in each line number, there's more than that, but these are the ones I just want you to play around with. And what I want you to do is I want you to do 3 things. First and foremost, I want you to dive into your 2 profile lines. How do you do that? You can either go back to the profile episodes of the podcast, which we'll put in the show notes for you, or you can go and look at profile on my Instagram, which is the Human Design Coach. There's loads on profile. So just go and learn a bit about your profile. Then the second thing I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself the question, where specifically does the shadow of the first line of my profile get in my way, block me, or hold me back? All right. Then I want you to do the same thing. So the third thing I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself the same question. Where specifically does the second line of my profile block me and hold me back? Okay? Because once you become conscious of this behavior, then you have a choice. Now you're aware of it, you can do something about it. So then you want to lean into your strategy and your authority that's going to take you into these higher expressions of your profile. Lean into these parts of your design that are going to really support you to shine bright, to be in your greatness, and of course, to be on purpose, to create your authentic success. So the 3 highlights or the 3 top level things I want you to know about your profile that I've covered is number 1, your profile is the costume of your purpose. Okay, that is what the original knowledge said. So it's how you are dressed up to be seen and experienced in the world and experience the world. Number 2, it's your how, the 2 biggest themes of how you be you. Okay, and number 3, this is what other people are going to be looking for from you. So those of you who are out there scratching your head about Instagram and how to market yourself, profile is a really powerful place to look because this is what people are going to want from you. All right, beautiful humans, that was a good one. It was short but sweet and very powerful. So if, like me, you are one of the less than 1% that actually takes action on all this free value and content, then well done you, because it's going to be a game changer. And whatever challenge you're facing right now, I bet you're going to see that the shadow of your profile is the thing that's been standing in your way. And now you know, nope, I'm going to not do that. That's in my mind. That's my conditioning. That's my ego. I'm going to choose these higher expressions of my profile. I'm going to keep moving forward towards my own authentic, confident self. Awesome. All right, peeps, I trust you got what you needed from today. Thank you so much for being here, and I really look forward to having you on the next podcast. Bye for now. Thanks everyone for being here all the way to the end of the podcast. I hope you got lots of value out of it. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it. Could I please ask that you share this podcast with friends if you found it valuable? And also, bonus points, could you leave a review for me as well on Apple? It would be greatly appreciated. If at any point you would like to be on the podcast or you've got questions that you'd like me to discuss on the podcast, by all means get on my socials and DM me. Everything you need is there in the show notes. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.